I'm an excellent driver.
Yes, you are.
Man, man. I almost got choked up watching that. And every time I watch that movie for our listening audience, that is Rain Man, when Dustin Hoffman and uh,
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise, yeah, yeah, played Rain Man. Excuse me. And I watched the movie twice last week, and that last part right there, man, it just put a little
Yeah.
lump in my throat how they bonded at the end.
Yeah. That got me too, man. I was actually sniffling when I finished watching it because it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. So, this part of the research that we were doing for these shows and looking at it again and seeing that he was a high functioning guy, even though he wasn't as verbal. And the things that
Right.
he was doing in that show, like the counting cards, if you have guys haven't seen it in a long time, I would suggest go watch it. And
They
how they
got
made
kicked
all
out of
that
the
money.
casino.
Yeah, and then they got by with that. But his brother had his ultimate plan, and I don't want to blow it for people, but he was trying to get money. He was trying to get money. He really didn't care about his brother at the time. He cared about his
No.
business.
Right.
So when it got to that part that we just showed right there at the very beginning of him, really embracing his brother, and his brother accepted him by putting his head on top of him. Because if you remember in this show, this movie, when they were in the hotel room
Oh yeah.
in that suite, and he said he got a date with this woman, I got a date, and all this and that. And it turned out that he was trying to learn how to dance.
Right.
And then he taught him, and he got his moves on, he was doing his thing. And then when he was happy, hey, way to go, Raymond, way to go, Raymond. And he tried to hug him, and then he went into one of his outbreaks.
Yeah. Yeah. He exploded.
Yeah.
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 But
So that's why that particular scene got me, because then his brother actually, they connected.
well, I saw the transition and how the longer he was around his brother, it no longer became about the money.
Right.
At first it
Right.
started off as the money, but the more time he spent around his brother, it
Yeah.
became more about the brother. Didn't even hear about the money anymore. So
Exactly. It was
uh,
about their relationship,
it's
and that
about the
he that was there to
relationship.
deal. And that was
Yeah.
just over a few days that they were together. So that's one of that one and Forrest Gump, man. Those are some of my great movies, and it's based around what our topic is on autism, and how high functioning people and these people in general, man, they're just incredible people. Like I said before, in these other topics, man. But we're gonna go ahead and let's get this started. Let's get this started.
All right. Well, our today's topic is autism spectrum disorder. Celebrating special needs. It's a blessing, not a burden. Episode 3. And we're going to talk more about it with our guests coming right up after this.
They're good men. When I should be that silent, they need to be addressed. Excuse me, sir. Quiet, you brain. Wrong mental problem.
Yeah,
Quiet,
yeah.
yeah, quiet, Frank. Grown men are talking. I get a big kick out of that.
Yeah,
Good
man.
morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Men's Lounge LA. I'm your host, Frederick Douglass Southern, aka Sir Frederick, and
I'm your co-host and partner in these conversations, Coach Chris. Welcome to the Men's Lounge LA.
here at the Men's Lounge, our mission is simple. We empower men. We empower good men to become greater men. We empower men to embrace their masculinity and their humanity. And yes, we celebrate the women because without our women, we wouldn't be properly balanced.
I agree. Tip of my hat. to the women. I was raised by a single mom, so I had nothing but respect for women. And we're here to stimulate the women at the same time in the lounge, right here at the LA Men's Lounge. How you feeling today, my brother?
I'm excited about this broadcast. I'm excited about the subject matter, autism, and this is our third episode. Um, when we first started this, I didn't know what we were undertaking, and this just turned into something. Didn't realize how huge it is,
Yeah,
and actually fell in love with this topic, and
yeah.
actually fell in love with um, autistic children, how special they are. I've fallen in love with the parents, uh, how patient they are, and how passionate they are. So, wow. What about you?
I agree with you 100%, man. The one thing that we take pride in our podcast and our platform is the research that we do to make sure we bring the proper content and good quality content to our viewers.
Yeah.
And during this entire process, this is our third episode, like he mentioned, and I've been enlightened on so much about on the spectrum. I knew about autism, but I learned more about on the spectrum. The high functioning people, Asperger, and everything that's involved in this. And it's much more. I mean, it's much more than we can even cover, even in this
Yes.
third
Yes.
episode. And it's just been amazing, man. Like I say, it's extraordinary people taking care of extraordinary people when it comes down to the big picture for
Right.
me. And like you said, man, this has just been one huge enlightening situation. I mean, completely, like you say, it didn't catch me off guard because I always like to keep an open mind when it comes to things, especially when it comes to new things in my life. And I'm all about learning, being educated. And man, this has educated me a lot, a lot.
Yeah, it has. So let's do this. We have a lot of material to cover today. And according to the American Medical Association, AMA, autism can be influenced by a mix of factors, environmental, biological, and genetics. However, some parents believe that early childhood vaccinations play a role. And we're going to get into that shortly. And that belief has sparked years of a heated debate because, according to the AMA, there's no scientific connection linking vaccines to autism. And right there is where the tension is, that disagreement. And, here's where the real stories unfold.
And that's true. That's true. And that's why today's episode matters, for us to bring on a gentleman up to this show who's actually going to be introduced here shortly. And I'm looking forward to introducing him because he has a great resume. And being a coach, I love being able to talk to someone of his stature, because
Right.
this guy comes in with a lot of great resume things that I just admire, and we'll get to him shortly. But when it's all said and done, these episodes really matter. So far as I'm concerned, guys, look at episode 1, check out episode 2, and while we on episode 3, just kick back, grab your cigar, grab your cocktail, and just enjoy what's going on right now because it's going to be informational. You're going to learn a lot today, just like we've been learning a lot.
So let's set the stage with some foundational slides to educate
For sure.
our listening audience.
Yeah, we've gone through these before in the other shows, but it's always relevant to just revisit these because this is the origins. Let's kind of go into the origins on when this kind of came to the forefront.
Right. Autism was first described as a distinct condition in 1943 by psychiatrist Leo Kanner. Kanner coined the term infantile autism to describe children who exhibited characteristic behaviors such as social withdrawal, isolation, and difficulty with communication and social interactions, repetitive ritualistic behaviors, and delayed language development. The first person to be formally diagnosed with autism was Donald Triplett in 1943. And in 1980, autism was officially recognized as a separate diagnostic category in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
Just like I said before, 1943 is kind of like when it came to the forefront, but we all agree that this has probably been happening since the beginning of time.
Yes.
But
Yes.
since they, came up with a name on this as autism, 1943, and we're in 2025, and a lot of these behaviors have not changed. That's the thing that kind of concerns me for
Right.
parents and educators who's going through this, because with the technology that we have today, I'm kind of stunned that nothing's really changed. Like say walking on their tippy toes, I know there's been cases where some breakthroughs happen, but you have to start very young with the training when it comes to things of this sort. But a lot of these behaviors they're not changing. They haven't changed. And I'm a little disturbed over that from the research we've been doing. I could be wrong in some cases. I'm not saying to generalize. I'm just saying
Right.
I've seen some of the things that hasn't changed, and maybe our guest can kind of tap in on some of that.
He'll
But
he'll he'll enlighten us.
I'm sure.
Several
I'm sure.
several programs in Los Angeles offer support and resources for autistic individuals and their families in 2025. These include specialized schools, therapy centers, community organizations focused on education, social development, and career training. For example, Exceptional Minds provides training in the digital arts, while J. Nolan Community Services offer comprehensive support services. And you can reach out to them at the UCLA Center for Autism Research and Treatment. It's jaynolan.org. That's JAYNOLAN.org. Once again, that's JAYNOLAN.org. Jaynolan.org. And UCLA Treatment for Autism Research and Treatment is a leading center for research and clinical services.
Yeah, and when I did the research, or we've been doing research on these things, these are resources. And when I saw Exceptional Minds, I thought that was pretty extraordinary. That could be very helpful to a lot of you parents out there and also teachers out there to just check them out. But anywhere in the country, I'm sure you'll be able to find some resources for yourself. We're talking about Los Angeles because that's the things that we pulled up for our current
Right.
guests and viewers. But this is going to be seen all over the country, so just reach out to any kind of resources that you guys have in your city. I'm sure you'll be able to find some things that'll help you during this process you're going through. Because even here in Los Angeles, we have, the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services, and this is a child protection hotline. And the phone number there is 1-800-540-4000. And this is respite care. And we here at the Men's Lounge really believe in self-care. And respite care is something that I believe that everyone should be involved in that's going through this process, because this gives you an opportunity to find help for yourself, for your children, and other avenues. In our first episode, Shannon was talking about how you can hire your own family members to help you with your child. And
Right.
I think that's huge, because a lot of people don't want strangers around their children, especially when they have special needs. And I get that, respite care, you have to go through a process. You got to get live scans and background checks, things of that sort, to make sure that you're the proper person coming into people's lives. I did that as a coach. I had to take a live scan and background check. Being a coach, I couldn't step on the field without going through that process, because you have to make sure you're not around children if you got some sort of record. And I respect that. And it's the same thing with this process, but it's different. And I think you guys should, consider looking into this if you haven't gone through this in our first 2 episodes. Respite care. It's huge. It's huge. What's your thoughts on that, big bro?
Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a break. I was a caregiver. You were a caregiver. And caregiver burnout is real.
Yeah. I was a caregiver for my mom until she passed in 2022. You were caregiver for your aunt. So we have that in common, and we will be talking about other episodes down the road when it comes down to men's health, mental health and stuff like that.
Mental
So
health,
that's going to be on the Men's Lounge LA. But for this particular topic, respite care for you guys who are going through the situation with these people that you're helping in your life. And then in addition to that, the Men's Lounge LA, we're going to be involved in this one. This is the EM Power Walk and 5K Run. And I just want to make sure we keep this clear. I'm not going to be doing any running that day. I'm going to be doing the walking. So yeah, I'm a former coach. I did a lot of running back in the day, but you know what? My back issues, my torn Achilles, my knee surgery, all that stuff is not allowing me to run. So I will be doing some walking. It's going to be November 23rd, 2025 here in Los Angeles. It's going to be on the UCLA campus. And if you go to UCLA campus and check this out, I'm sure they'll probably have it on their website. So I've been putting this up quite a bit. And we're going to have a link below because the Men's Lounge LA will be representing there. And
Right.
I'm going to be a part of this process. We will be. In addition to that, I do have a link for you guys to click on and then donate on behalf of Coach Chris. So if you do that, I would love for you guys to do that. That'd be great. That'd be great. What's your thoughts on that, big bro?
When I show up, I think I'll be on the bicycle because I don't do a lot of walking with my flat feet. So I'll be on the bicycle, following you guys, probably carrying some water in a backpack. And so I'll do
Don't
my
forget,
part.
don't forget your banana since you'll be doing so much hard work on that bike. You boy, you boy, you boy.
Yeah.
What can you say, man? I tell you what, let's move on into some notable people that we talked about in the previous episode that's
Yeah.
high functioning that has this invisible disability that we call autism.
Yeah, Elon Musk, he's relevant right now. The CEO of Tesla and SpaceX is one of the most well-known figures in modern technology. And what many people don't know or didn't know is that he has been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. Despite the challenges that come with his condition, Musk has managed to become one of the wealthiest people in the world and continues to push boundaries in space exploration and sustainable energy.
Yeah, that's something right there. Like we talked about Forrest Gump in our first episode, and he was a multimillionaire too. If you think about it, having bubblegum shrimp, you
Bubba
know,
Shrimp, yeah,
yeah,
Bubba
bubblegum shrimp.
Gump.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was a high functioning guy. And if you look at this guy right here, man, he's like one of the top 10 or top two richest men in the world that has this invisible disability. So for you parents out there that have a child, there's hope. There's hope out there when it comes down to
Yes.
this particular disability. Even, we have an athlete on our show today, so we wanted to make sure we address athletes, and this one surprised me, but hey, we're gonna talk about it.
Lionel Messi. I don't know who he is. I never heard of him, but
Oh
Lionel
man.
Messi, widely regarded as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He's also been open about his diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome. The Argentine superstar has overcome his difficulties with social interactions and communication to lead his team to numerous championships with numerous individual accolades.
This guy is big time, man. He's big time.
Never
Like I
heard of
say,
him.
yeah, yeah. Like I say, you're not into sports, but that's fine. We balance out this men's lounge by me being the sports guy. That's fine. You're the commentator. I'm the color analyst. And when I say color, I say black. I'm the color analyst.
Who we got
So
next?
I can hook you up on that. So I'll tell you about him after the fact, but we're gonna move forward because we got quite a bit on this show that we're gonna get. This might be a longer show than normal that we give you guys, but it's gonna be worthy. But let's go to the next slide.
Sheldon Cooper. Now I've seen him on TV, a fictional character from the TV show The Big Bang Theory. He's often cited as an example of someone with autism due to his difficulty with social cues and obsessive tendencies. While Sheldon may not be a real person, his portrayal on screen has helped raise awareness about autism spectrum disorder. Yes, I've seen him. Yeah.
I have too. I have too. And I was asking you earlier before the show started if you watched that and if you knew that he maybe was an artistic character on that show as well. So if you guys in the listening audience know about that, put it in the comments. Let us know if you know that he was playing an artistic, high functioning person on that show because I'm not 100% familiar with that. But if you know, just put your comments in on that. That would be great to help us balance this out. But we came across this as well, and I figure it would be pretty good to bring up. But in the meantime, we're gonna move forward. That's a few things that we wanted to address before we bring up our guests. We have a really special guest here today for you guys, man. I really know that, when we talked to him earlier, man, it's like, to me, it was like talking to a teammate.
Right.
I'm a lot older than this guy, but it's like talking to a teammate, man. When you talk trash and when you talk to each other, it's nothing but love and respect. And nobody's taking anything personal. You can see the smirk on his face when he's talking to us, because I already know what that smirk is. It's like, hey, I'm serious, but don't take me serious, that kind of stuff. But this man, he's a serious man because he has a resume, man, that's built for the Men's Lounge LA, as far as I'm concerned. He actually played college football, and he played for this team here, which is actually not my team because I'm a USC fan, but I'll give him some love. I'll give him some love. He's a national championship. He played in 1991 with the Washington Husky football team, and he's a national champion. So he has a great resume jumping off right now when it comes down to that. And he actually started his pro football career with the Seattle Seahawks as well. So when he came in from the league, college league, played with the Seattle Seahawks. And you can see his name there, Tyrone Rodgers. He was a defensive end. He played with the Seattle Seahawks. So this is not the first person that I was involved with that played college football and with the pros. I was actually talking to him earlier about Terrence Whitehead, who I coached when he was a kid. And he went to University of Oregon, and then he ended up playing with the Cincinnati Bengals. And he was a running back for them, and he was a great player as far as I'm concerned as well, too. So he played also a couple of years with the Carolina Panthers, and then he went on to some outside of the country, the BC Lions, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and then he played with Grand Rapids, and then he did some other things. So he has a really good resume, and this guy here has done some amazing things also in another ram that we're going to cover a little bit later. But he also has some good things going here as well. That's Mr. Rodgers right there. And that's not Mr. Rodgers with a sweater. That's Mr. Rodgers with a blazer, a black blazer. That's who that is, man. And we're going to bring him to the stage real quick. This is Tyrone Rodgers. And this is his security company as well, Security Link. So welcome to the Men's Lounge LA, Mr. Rodgers. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Wow. You know what? I'm looking around for that introduction. Like, where's that guy at? It's like
there he is right there on the screen, man. Looking all handsome and everything. But he looked like he kicked your ass in the process, too. Looked like he'll tackle you or he kick your ass.
just to let our listening audience know, Tyrone is a proud father of an adult son on the spectrum, and he's here to share his journey, the real impact autism has on families, the strategies he uses to support not only his son, but also his son's team and the community. Now, there's a lot to unpack. It's going to be real. It's going to be honest. And we're just going to jump right into it.
Yeah, this, like I say, man, when we first met Tyrone, like I say, it was like talking to one of my brothers, man. I don't know what it is about, former coaches, athletes, whatever, man. There's always like some sort of, connection, some kind of bond. In some cases, some people don't like each other because of rivalries or whatever, man. But you know what? It's a game. But when you love that game and you love doing what you do and you have that same passion, there's a brotherhood there, man. And that's what it feels like talking to this brother, man. So this guy is real, man. This is a real brother right here. And him having a son that's on the spectrum at the age that we wanted to talk about, being an adult, this is something we're going to talk about in this episode 3, because we're covering a lot the parents' journey with the younger children, So
let's just set this up to our listening audience. In our meet and greet, we covered a lot with Tyrone, from Snoop Special Stars, football and cheerleading program, to your Christmas tree lot and even conservatorship battle that you have faced. Now I know the audience is going to be eager to hear all about that. So we've got a lot to cover. So let's just jump right on in.
Dive right on in, man. Are you pretty open to cover anything, or you good for everything? Okay,
I'm
good.
Yeah.
Happy to have you aboard, man. How you feeling today, by the way, brother?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Just got back from a big project. It's sunny in California, like we love it. So
Yeah,
no
yeah,
fires.
beautiful.
Yes. So,
Tell us a little. Tell our listening audience a little bit about your son and what brought you here today, and we'll get to the Christmas tree farm and the
Snoop
conservative
Dogs.
guardianship. Yeah. So let's talk about your son.
Security, everything, man.
Yeah, let's talk about your son.
well, I have an amazing son. Well, I have first. Let me back up. I have 4 kids. My son, he's the youngest boy, and my youngest.
How old is he again?
He's now is 21. Yeah. So sorry, 24. I'm saying my daughter. Sorry,
Okay.
I played football for a long time, so I got
Got kind of banged up.
yeah. So I usually say 1, 2, 3, come here, whatever. So
Right. Whichever age. I got you. Yeah. So he's 24, your son.
Yes. So he's amazing. We didn't really find out that he was on the spectrum until he was about. He started showing signs 2.5 after he had the shots, and he was doing everything normal up to the point to 2 when he had the shots, and then 2.5 things really drastically changed.
So
Wow.
you believe that like the AMA says, no, there's no link to support this, evidence to support this, but a lot of parents say that this disability started developing after the shots, and you're one of those parents.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the disability started, but the percentage went from, I think it was 1 out of 20 kids to 1 out of 10 kids. With this, when the shots came about, and it raised at least 50% within them years when they had the shots combined, and then they changed it, and some parties admit that the shots had something to do with it, and other parties are saying no. So,
it's interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's interesting you brought that up to that manner. I want to play something really quick to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, and then kind of feed off what
we'll go from there. Yeah.
And it's so important to me to see the doctor 4 times or 5 times for a vaccine. Don't let them pump your baby up with the largest pile of stuff you've ever seen in your life going into the delicate little body of a baby. Even if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you just break it up into, I would say 5, but let's say 4 visits to the doctor instead of 1. And certain things I think you should do. We've already taken out and are in the process of taking out mercury and aluminum now. You know what mercury is. You know what aluminum is. Who the hell wants that pumped into a body? And there were rumors about both of them for a long time. But we're having them taken out. We're having them taken out of the vaccines.
Normally, I don't listen to too much that Pumpkin has to say, but you know what? It's kind of timely for our topic, and we actually did that show long before he and Kennedy started talking about this stuff. What's your take on what he just said? Because you kind of alluded to that a little bit on, doing them not all at the same time, and he just mentioned that I think recently. What's your thoughts?
He's just repeating something that was already came out. That's all he's doing. He's reading something that already came out, and that certain parties that didn't want the lawsuits was fighting against it. I really don't care about the lawsuit. We just need to know about our son, and we wanted to know the best thing to help him. So
Right.
a lot of people, they want some type of money back or something, or help here and there. Whatever happened and whoever did it, that damage is done. So, we're just here to make our son the best life that he can be and push him to his limits, and for us to enjoy and him enjoy everything around him. And, some people have a different view of it. If I knew exactly who created it, yeah, I would love to be locked in the closet with him. But,
My bad.
we don't. We will never know. So,
Right. Yeah.
How did you and his mother handle this realization?
Really, his grandmother seen some of the tendencies first. And she noticed some things that wasn't right. And I was still playing ball at the time, so I was in and out of town. And it was a function of denial in some moment. And then grandmother brought it my attention to something you don't want to admit, something's wrong with your child.
Right.
So it was a transition there we had to go through. Then after, fighting that and going to get everything diagnosed and everything else, and the journey for that was ridiculous. It's, in the early 2000s, it was just really ridiculous. Now they have an easier journey for a lot of the families if they have to go through something like this. It's an easier journey. They have things worked out. And since it's a normal, unfortunately, it's a normal occurrence of some of these kids, they know what to look for and how to test and everything else. We went to hearing and eyes and everything else before anything, mental.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me when you just said that. When we met you and we were kind of discussing this initially, you said you had to kind of force the doctors to do certain things. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, or is that what you were just saying now?
Well, no, that's a little different. So we had to force them to look further,
Deeper.
Deeper, not other than just a hearing loss or a hearing problem. We had to look deeper, look and see what is wrong. It's something else. And like you said before, as coming from an athletic sport background, competitive background, I need to know what's wrong so we can come up with a plan to help it.
Right.
Then as a younger parent, I wanted to, how do I fix it? But,
Right.
it's not about fixing it. It's just about making the best life and push him to his limits, not my limits, his limits.
Right.
How did you starting off? How did you and who handled it better, you or the mother?
I would say initially, I did, and the grandmother. Because my son, mom's, it was her only child, and so it was really devastating for
It's a tough deal. Yeah.
You're most dads, of course, in our own room and somewhere in the closet or in the car, we have our own little moments, but the mothers usually take it out in front of everybody as far as the emotions. And we understand that. Like, as I was raised by a single mom, I get it. So when it comes down to stuff like that, it's usually internal for men. And that's why we have the Men's Lounge LA, so we can get these things to the forefront so men can know they have a place to come and talk about it. So I'm happy that you're transparent about this and glad that you're joining us to discuss this, because you have an adult son. We talked about children at this point. We're going to go over some other things with the children a little bit later. But as an adult son, how far or have you seen progress since him being younger and where he's at now as an adult? What's your thoughts on where he's been? Or is he still the same?
Well, you look at his what is his goals and not realistic goals. So you change everything around, of what is what his capacity and what his limits are. You don't come off and put, how some people, they want to say, all right, my kid's going to be a doctor, or my kid's going to be a football player, or something, anything. it's, and you push off your dreams onto your own kids. It's more about pushing off what his limits are, finding his limits and helping him reach his limits. So
How did you?
What I was going to say probably the same thing he's saying, but what steps did you take to find out what limits
Right,
that he have
right,
and,
right.
and and how to address it? Because Shannon, in our first episode, did make some great observations. She says she does hers through play. Was that the same steps, or did you do something different?
I'm not the best parent, but with my other kids, I push them till they fail. And then when they fail, we just worked it out. So, and, we did things with my son. We did everything the same thing the other kids did. We learned how to ride a bike. It was a little harder. Then we just, there was some occasion where people looked at him funny being a big kid on a mountain bike with training wheels that I custom made.
Well, you did tell us that he's a gentle giant. Want to tell our listening audience your son size, because he's pretty sizable guy from what you said.
He's 6'4.5", about 320 maybe. He's a little overweight, but he's a big kid. But if you look him in his face, you can tell that he's a kid. Being 24, you still look him in the face and he smiles and everything else. And, he's a kid. So he didn't really learn how to ride a bike till he was probably about 12. And he loves riding bikes. So,
what does a good day look like for you and Jhai, you and your son?
Jhai.
Jhai.
AI. You know what? His days are amazing because no matter if he's having a bad day, within 15 minutes, he's back smiling.
Wow.
That's great.
So if he's going through something and he can't communicate or he can't express what he's feeling, or something that with part of the handicap, if he wants something and he can't get it now, he still can't really understand. So he's going to keep asking for it.
Gotcha.
So as a parent, you guys know you got to just keep answering.
Right.
Give him the exact same answer, and he'd get it for a minute, and then he's going to come back and ask you again.
How well does he handle transitions or changes in routine?
That's hard. You have to prep him. Whatever you're doing, you got to let him know what we're doing. You give him the plan, and
I like that you give him the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you kind of prep them. You kind of prep them for it.
Yes. So you got to prep them. Hey, we're going to the beach. We're going back right. And his response like no, because he knows his exercise. So we sneak in wherever I can.
His exercise.
Right. So so if he don't feel like doing it, his nope. It's it's funny. So I'm like, no, we're gonna do it. Nope.
And that brings me to my next question is, how well does he take direction from you?
For me, once I say no, this is what you're gonna do. But it's still the mama daddy thing, and the mother has a way to get him to do things, and I have a way to get him to do things.
So he has that balance. He has that balance in his life.
There's a balance. He knows how he can get over on one parent, other parent. I mean, he's very intelligent. It's just he can't. It's the communication part,
right?
Because you did say low verbal, right? Not non-verbal, but low verbal. Okay.
And he has dealing with certain emotions. When he really wants something or whatever. Certain emotions, he have problems expressing it.
Who does he take direction from better, you or the mother?
That it depends on the situation. And like I said, just like every family, they both communicate and get things out of the kid differently.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm curious about something. If the mother is having some resistance, if she's experiencing some resistance, does she ever call you to come over and help with the discipline or help out, give direction or anything?
No, we're not there yet. Her and I, but no, she has a way to get to him. So she's a good mother. She has a way to get to him and to convince him to do certain things, whichever way. Her way is different than mine, but she has a way.
Got you.
To get to him. As most fathers, we're more firmer. When it's wait a minute, it's no. So stop asking me. Hold on, you asked me 4 times.
So you're the heavy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I was too. And still is to this day, even though my son is 32 and 28. So, you're going to have to be, when it comes down to being a dad. You're a dad too, big bro. You know what it's like. But
Yeah.
mothers, do get a chance to be a little bit softer. But I think all children need that balance. But
Right.
when it comes down to your background being in football, and we know that's an aggressive sport, did that help you mold your son in a different way, or did you just not involve your background in football into his life and you just did a different kind of parenting?
Well, you know what? My 2 older boys, it did, and they were like, "Ooh, damn." But no, what I had to do, he had to bring out more of my understanding and sensitivity and his situation, take me out of the situation, because my older boys, it was just like, get it done or get it done. No matter, they hate that clause, but now they're adults, they use that clause all the time. Is basically you can figure out a way to get it done, you're emotionally or physically or any task there's a way to get it done no matter what. But that's not, we had to change it when it comes to Jhai.
Mm-hmm.
It had to come with a more of, emotional and psychological approach.
I understand you have 3 other children. You have a total of 3 boys, 1 girl,
Yeah.
and Jhai is the youngest boy.
Jhai. Yep.
Jhai is the youngest boy. I'm gonna get his name right.
That's okay.
What has Jhai taught you about yourself as a father and as a man? What has he taught you? Yeah, what has he taught you?
That, life is really not that hard in our eyes, because, what most of your audience are so-called on the normal spectrum. And we may go to work and have a co-worker or a boss that's ragging us, and you got bills, you got this and that, and some people go as far as jumping off a bridge and this and that. And then we look at them, kids on the spectrum, and we're like, oh, woe is them. But they smile.
They're always happy.
They're happy. They're, with them.
Yeah.
What kind of problem can you have within 5 minutes you're back smiling?
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love hearing that.
I wish I knew how to recover like that.
But
yeah, same here.
They're smiling and joking, and you can say something to them, and then they joke, and then they back asking you something that they love, or go play a game or something. And
that sounds like something he taught you then. So it looked like you take joy in seeing him do that, I'm sure.
Right. So that's the thing where I got from him. And, my problems is not as bad as, no matter how you look at it, it's not as bad. So
that's amazing.
That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it.
And I'm supposed to be here guiding him. So, but he's a gift.
Yeah. I have a question regarding him being an adult now, because since we were talking so much about children in our previous episode, being under the age of 21 or even 18, and we're going to the 18 thing here shortly, about conservatorship, that I really want to get your take on. What hopes do you have for him, or what direction are you leading him into since he's at an adult, when it comes down to him being independent financially or independent as far as living? What's going on with you and him in that area? What are you doing?
Well, my son is always going to have assistance. He can make some food, make his food for the minor things. He can make his food or something to eat, go to the bathroom, take a shower, but he needs direction. So
he can cook.
I wouldn't say really cook, but he can microwave or go make a sandwich.
Wow.
He can go. You can't hide any snacks from him. He gonna find it.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I mean.
guy.
So you got some donuts or pie or something around. He gonna find it no matter where you put it. So
You sniff it out, huh?
he gonna sniff it out. He's like, okay, where would Daddy put this at? So
under lock and key, brother. Under lock and key.
Lock and key. Hey, he gonna find the key. He's like, hey, why is this locked?
I love him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So he will he can do that. He can make it something, but he's gonna always need someone in his life directing him, taking care of him. So he needs assistance still. He can't drive. He won't be able to order food or anything like that. So his life is basically making sure I got to make sure that there's aftercare after I pass away, his mother passed away, and we got to have something set up. And we're trying to get on the same page with that now. I already have an idea what I want going. A goal of mine is of trying to create, but and basically it's a community, like a housing program or whatever, maybe like 8 to 15, no more than 20 apartments where they're living in, and there's a community where they got to get up, they got to work, they got to clean and everything else. Maybe have a cafeteria, and everyone's staying there. And we have someone, specialist there, helping them. But it's their own little apartment, and we know some are going to need more help than others, and their own little community. And
you say you're looking to start this, or is this something that's already out there?
No, well, you know what? I've went out to Kurt Warner's place in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
He created this community in Arizona about 15 years ago.
The kind of community you're describing right now, he created something like that? Oh,
Yep.
That's fantastic. That's great.
I'm glad you're mentioning that, because that brings me to my next question. What tools, resources, or therapies would you recommend to other parents walking this same journey?
There's something called, depending on where they're at, but there's a regional center. There's the help group. Here in Los Angeles, I don't know what do they call, what do they have in different states and different cities. But in California, there's some called the regional center. Yeah. And you can go there, and they have all kind of different groups and help that you can go to. Once your kid is diagnosed and put on the spectrum here or there's a lot of help out there. Even though the United States is not admitting that they cause this epidemic, but they put a lot of money out there for it.
Right.
And you can get help. And then like the autism walk that he was talking about earlier, what it used to be at the Rose Bowl. I guess they're having the construction, so it's at UCLA. You go to places like that, it's going to be all kind of vendors there. Hundreds of vendors that have different programs to help. They help guide you in the area where you need to go.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you did say you're going to be at the Donut Shack. Am I still going to see you there?
Hey, I'm not even going to be like he said he's going to ride the bike. My stomach is in the shape where I'm not going to run. So I'm not even going to give the part, hey, I'm a walk. No, I go there to support. and I may walk to a certain point and then post up at the little area where they have these donuts that
There you go.
that's that are great. I forgot the name of them. I love to plug them in, but I'll be there.
Okay, cool. We looking forward to seeing you, man. And if I don't hold too many guys' hands, but if I got to hold your hand just to get to that first point, you're gonna get to it and then come back. We'll be doing the same thing.
No, you don't got to hold my hand because I'm gonna be like my son. When he get tired, he's like, nope, and he just sit down. So
nope. Have to keep that in mind. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna do the best I can.
I'm really digging your enthusiasm, your passion for this and for special needs children, which leads me into my next segment. Let's talk about your Christmas tree lot. And I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there that have children with special needs, high functioning, the passion that you took on this project. Tell our listening audience about your Christmas tree lot.
All right. I've been owning Christmas tree lots since 1995. I really started it to help family members. That were just
Your family members?
Family, I would say, yeah, my family. And when I say family, I have a lot of families in that blood.
Right.
So,
we all do.
It's still family.
As a community, that's what we do.
Yes. So I was still playing ball back then. And a lot of my family members getting out of prison. And they was having a hard time getting a job. And they needed a job because the probation was going to lock them back up. They didn't have some type of job, which was, how you gonna get a job? You got, you got this strike against you.
You got a record. Yeah.
Right. So I, and they had to get a job within 30 days. So I started a tree lot and gave all my, all of them jobs, and the parole officers came out, checked them and everything else, and got them by the first, path of getting a job or whatever. So I started selling Christmas trees to help. And then I made some money. I said, oh, damn.
My man, that's right.
You know what I mean? So then I just kept it going, and would hire whoever. If they knew somebody was coming out, I was hiring. So it got to the point where I was really making a lot of money. And then when you find out about my son, he was always there, running around, pushing things over, whatever. But then he started wanting to help. Pick up the tree. When he got big enough to pick the tree up, he did. He'd seen his other brothers doing stuff, so he wanted to do it. And then I have a friend that has these group homes for special need adults.
Right.
That got in trouble in some kind of way or whatever, and then they in a program where if they follow her program and she helps them get out of the legal trouble, they get out and be okay. So we talked about it one year, and she started bringing them out to work. She was like, I try to get them jobs, but nobody want to hire them. And so ever since then, we started it. And I have nothing but special need adults working at my lot.
That's all you hire?
For the most part, yeah.
Wow.
And how many guys are it's going to be? I'm saying guys, but if it's not only guys, you can.
She just happened to have all just men group homes. So,
because that's her group home. Okay.
That's her group home. So that's just not like I wouldn't hire a woman, but we have a relationship, so I get them from her. So
okay, and it's about what? A dozen?
I bring in about it's about 10 to 15.
And you oversee this. Your son helped you, and you have additional help from.
So I have they come on in, and she'll bring some of the workers, her workers, and they'll be there. Some that may need extra guidance or whatever. They're therapists. They help them out, and they're there working the whole day. Switch the shifts, and they're there.
When does your season start?
Really, tree season already started. already ordered my trees, got my license and everything else, and going through all my inventory, cleaning things up. Matter of fact, some of the boys are going to come out and pull everything out of my warehouse to start cleaning everything. I think next week. So we already kind of started getting the schedule together, and we got some new clients that's going to be stays with her that wants to work, and they work the whole season. Great. They learn how to tie the trees up. They get tips, how to put the stands on the trees. They normally not selling the trees, but they watch us. And then the little bonus I have for them, I usually shut my lot down around maybe 21st, 22nd.
Yes.
And I turn it over to everybody who worked becomes their lot. So even though it's a lot of money, but yeah.
So for you at around the 21st, you turn the lot over to them and you take your hands off and they just run the lot.
They basically, I'm still there, but
I get that.
Everything that they've learned from me and the prices and everything else, they start selling the trees, and then they would still our same program where the person who buy the tree come to the door, and when we take the money, but all the money goes to them. They form their little company. I teach them how to form the company. Who's going to be their lead?
Wow. They
get together, and who's ever the lead, and they think can be their spokesperson or whatever. And then at the end of the night, I'd say, all right, let's tally up. Let's see what you guys made. And then they sit and divide it up every night.
So every dollar that's made from the 20th on, it goes straight to them.
Straight to them, yeah. No, wow. Not the 20th. I shut down. I got to look at the date. I think it's the 22nd. 21st, 22nd. But yeah.
And you sell all the way up to Christmas Day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I sell all the way up till they want to be there. They're there up to Christmas. Yes.
Whenever they leave.
I said, when you guys want to shut down, we'll shut the doors. So whatever trees are left, they sell them. They change the prices, everything.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love the fact that you're giving them ownership and you teach them how to run a business in the same process. And with that said, it made me think as a coach, how do they choose the leader? Is it something that they vote upon, or is it how the person carry themselves? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's just like any team. It's almost like who you vote to be a captain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I was going. That's exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going that direction.
So, and I let them do it. I say, all right, who's going to be your lead? And if they say, oh, this person, that person, Alex or John, whatever. But I let them pick it. I don't go in and say this person should be your spokesperson or whatever.
Yeah.
And
so it's not by performance that you see as the owner of the lot. It's by them as a group. Hey, you guys choose, and then do they ever come to a conclusion, or is it like a tiebreaker? I mean, do you have to break the tie?
No, they usually come.
They work it out.
They work it out. One come up always. All right, I'm gonna be the spokesperson. Okay, and it's
okay. So what does that spokesperson do? They organize things, or they bring in the customer when the customers come in. They show them. What does the spokesperson do? Just out of curiosity.
The spokesperson is the one that when a person come into the tree lot and they need help. That person will go up and give them help, and will answer all the questions about, okay, do we want a Douglas fir, Grand fir, Noble, and that person will be the salesperson.
Do you do the flocking there as well? They go ahead and flock them?
We flock them too.
Okay, so they can ask if you want it flocked, and there's additional charge for all this and that. So they have the total RAM of what's happening during that time that they're there until they get to that point where they
learn from Thanksgiving all the way up to that point of how to do things. They learn the names of the trees, the prices, if we change the prices, we'll rechange them, and they write it down and they go from there.
So what you doing this, I'm sure you have a lot of repeat guys coming back, or do you have a different group of guys every year?
It's usually in her program. So it's always in her program. So it's I do have them, and she said they fight over it. They'd be like
to come back, huh?
Yeah, to come back. That's good. Which is good, and she said that, the whole season they're talking about, okay, we're going to the tree lot, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and because they get a chance to buy stuff for their family, and because they get to go home, because a lot of them are taken out of their homes, which we go to that later, taken out of their homes because of whatever the courts or the system seem that they're not in a good home, and
we're definitely going to address that. Didn't want to jump too far ahead, but one last thing for beyond that, you did mention something during our meet and greet about a lot becoming in LA. How does it turn out, or is that not going to happen?
It's not going to happen. Sadly, I was working with someone with a regional center, and they're doing some construction, and the part that we wanted to use, it won't be free. They're using it for storage for the other part of it. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's sad. Yeah.
That took it out. But we have the address below for the viewers. But if you want to tell them where it's at, that way it's coming from your voice. We love to have you express that.
Okay. Well, my tree lot is in Anaheim. It's the cross streets is Ball and Brookhurst. Address is 2295 West Ball Road. We're right across from the post office.
So if any of you guys are listening or viewing this, hey, go out and support. It's for a great cause. You get your Christmas tree, and you'll get a chance to help out these young men who are have special needs that's got a job and doing great things. And he's doing great things for the community. I ask you guys to go out and support this 100%. Go ahead, Sir Frederick.
Yeah, I have one last question. What are the ages of these young men that participate in your tree lot during the season?
I think the youngest one was 18. But then my son, he's been going there since, really all my kids. I guess it's been damn near slave labor, but they've been going. My son, he remember being there picking up a tree when he was like 8 or 9. So I'm like, really? I said, did I pay you? And he was like, I think you did. I said, yeah, I did. Yeah, I paid you.
Yeah, my wallet feels a little lighter. I know.
Yeah, you got the Christmas gift, so you got paid.
Of course. My man. I love it.
But in the group, coming from the group home, the youngest one I think was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just another question, kind of piggybacking off of that. Do they have to come out of that group home, or maybe somebody can get in contact with you and want that have special need child or man or young adult that might want to be a part of that? Can they do that by reaching out to you, or is it just through the group home?
You know what? I have a relationship with them. I would love to have more that I can bring in. I mean, she has 7 group homes, so she has to narrow it down to to basically 15 people.
Okay.
So and it is kind of and how she do it, she says whatever they're supposed to do on their ladder of getting themselves in good standing, she used that for, okay, if you do this, then who's ever doing everything they're supposed to get to go work the tree lot. So,
that's great, man. I love it. We want to transition into something else that you're doing that's been really great. I love it. I want to play this video. Then we can have you come back and kind of talk about a little bit, and we'll go into a few more, but let's start with this.
Have this program to carve it out for special needs children. It has changed so many children's lives, including my own child. It's given Trevor a sense of purpose in the sports world. He knows he's an athlete, and his confidence is boosted up, and it lets him know that he is special and he is seen just like any other child.
Tell our listening audience a little bit about that and your participation.
Oh man, so this is one of my favorites here. Snoop Special Stars. I mean, everybody knows Snoop for everything, from rapping, selling gin and cars and everything else. I know about his all NFL players that he put in NFL through his Snoop League. A lot of people don't know about Snoop Special Stars. Snoop's director of all sporting is Nikani. And Nikani and I sat down and a couple more close friends, and we brainstormed the Snoop Special Stars. Nikani has a daughter that's on the spectrum, and a couple other friends do too. And some are just loving parents that just love kids. And we came up with Snoop Special Stars, created the rules. We looked at flag football rules, which they're great, but not for our kids. So we had to redo everything, change everything. So I went through the rules of the national flag football rules. I think we kept one page.
Out of 200.
Yeah, you know.
So basically, y'all ain't got no rules.
No, we got rules, but our rules are complete. We created, you know, you have to go off of something, and you have to,
Right.
you know, so we're creating something. So, you know, okay, we want to do this, we'll do that. Then we realized our kids, you know, 1st and 10, regular standard 1st and 10. We can't really do that with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Offsides, no, you know, illegal, you know, movement or formation. They can't do that with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we threw all that out.
Right.
Only thing we have that's flag football is the flags and the football. And then we play on the field. That's the only thing.
Well, let me show our listening audience a little bit of some of that you're talking about.
Youth Football League was created in 2005. The kids that play football in the inner cities, I wanted to provide a way for them to make their grades and not their mothers and fathers financially be the key to them playing football. We started getting fathers, uncles, mothers, grandmothers that wanted to just come out and help. We have sent over 20 kids to the NFL. We've sent over 5,000 to Division I programs to graduate with degrees. We got Rhodes Scholars, we got lawyers, doctors, physicians that have came from the Snoop Youth Football League.
The Snoop Youth Football League has done an amazing job of giving back and providing a place where kids can come and learn and play football and have a place to go to get off the streets and do something positive in their lives.
So it originated from that, and then it led into what you were talking about with this, the special needs kids.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, were you involved at the infancy when he started it at that point? And then well, I know you said he was your client or something like that at one time.
Not the tackle football. I wasn't a part of that. Which I wish I was, but I wasn't. It's the Snoop Special Stars. That was
Right.
At the beginning. Right. Yes. So,
You're the coach for that league. Is that the case?
Yeah, you know, I carry a lot of titles. I just say coach, but yeah, I'm that. I'm like the janitor. Whatever needs to be done, I'm there. So
That's right. That's right.
So you know, and the janitor don't go out for any, you know, big names or whatever needs to be done. You know, janitors sit there and hold down the classroom if you have to. So you know,
Right.
That's right. Yeah. He already cleaned up behind everybody. Now you know what's going on. Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
That's what I'm like. I'm like the janitor. I'm a coach. I'm a little bit of everything. So.
When you're doing this, do you have a problem with the parents, or do the parents have a problem with you, the way you're coaching?
Well, no, we haven't had any problems. You know, usually the parents that come in, they're so happy that they have something for their kids to come to, can call theirs. Just like the one mother said, you know, she was saying that, you know, he's an athlete. He calls himself an athlete, and he is an athlete. And you know, they got something they can celebrate for, and it's something to look forward to. As a matter of fact, it's one of the tools that they can say, "Hey, you know, today we're going for practice." Oh, okay. They get excited for. You know, if they're having a bad day or something, they say, "Hey, you know what? We got to practice tomorrow," and they will, you know, shape it up, something they can look forward to. So that's yeah. So the parents coming out, it's not tackle football where another parent's asking about getting more play time or something like that. You know, you know, it's not that, you know, thing going on.
It's not the typical politics. And after looking at this, I can see why.
Special Stars gave us a community to have fun, and he knows that the Snoop Special Stars made this possible.
I love that because this man's back there dancing, and I think you had mentioned something that's not a touchdown unless they celebrate. You want to explain that to our listening audience?
That's one of the rules we created. So one of the biggest things with our kids, they have brothers and family members that plays different sport, and they're out there celebrating them, and they're cheering for them. If you go and watching the basketball, you have a kid in there that may be on the spectrum that parents like, hey, he just made a shot, cheer for him, whatever, and he's learning how to cheer. But the problem is no one's cheering for our kids, and they're not being celebrated. So the Snoop Special Stars is about celebrating them.
Yeah. And that celebration brings on that much more joy, and that's that fun that you have. And like you say, throw the playbook out, throw the rules out, just go have fun, run and have fun.
Right. And so we implemented about dancing or some type of celebration.
I thought you were saying they do. You can't see me. You can't see me.
It's whatever. Some don't want to dance.
The Undertaker.
I have one, like, he loves the Undertaker. Every year for our Halloween party, he's the Undertaker. He loves the Undertaker, so he'll do the whatever the Undertaker do, and then one of them loves John Cena, so he get a touchdown, and he's doing this. And,
oh man!
So it's whatever they want to celebrate, or they want other people to see them do. That's what then if you do that, then it's a touchdown.
Have any of these kids ever surprised you and just did something you didn't expect? Wait a minute, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, every time, because we're like, okay, go ahead, and they go home and practice. Their parents
so they can't wait to do it. Yeah,
to do something. So
that's great.
They get there, and one started breakdancing. I was like, whoa, you're too young to know about breakdancing.
Oh, really?
Get it around? Yeah. So yeah.
I understand not only the players are special needs. Speak to the special need cheerleaders.
Okay, we have let me go back. We are co-ed flag football.
Gotcha.
One of my best quarterbacks is now one of my coaches, but she was a quarterback. So we have players that play, and we have male and female, and then we have the cheerleader squad. So, and the cheerleaders won a competition in Vegas last year.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So they competed at some cheerleading competition, and they won. So they're not just out there with some little small pom-poms.
Pom-poms, yeah.
They know routines, everything.
So they practice too and get together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. They ain't messing around.
Wow. So he has facilities for them to go practice in, or they do it on the field while you guys are out there practicing?
Yeah. So we have, you know what? Sometimes the cheerleaders, they go practice somewhere else, which I don't know where they practice.
Okay.
But they practice usually the same time we're at practice. And they go to the side, because we'll rent out different parks, because we have our LA chapter, which we have 6 teams, the Orange County chapter, 6 teams, and we have the IE chapter.
I remember you said the chapter here in LA has like 250 involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's pretty big, and it's growing, I'm sure.
It's growing. Yeah. I mean, we'd love to go to different areas and have, it should be, 3 chapters in LA and 3 in Orange County. And because, but we don't have the coaches and the volunteers. Yeah. Everyone's volunteer. There's no one's getting paid or anything like that. Snoop, whatever needs to be paid for, Snoop pays for it. And we don't take all donations, because a lot of donations want us to change things.
Gotcha.
And that's some things, where I'm not going to speak on that, but that's the county's stage. But we don't want to change things. And usually when certain people donate, they want to change some of the rules or that. and our rules are set for our kids.
Yeah. Hold on, Fred. I had a question about his son, Jhai. You had mentioned that earlier about how Jhai used to show up for his brothers and sisters and cheer on them. Tell the story that you mentioned to us during the meet and greet about when he played. Did he play for Snoop's league the first time?
No, he played for El Segundo tackle football league, the ECC or something like that.
Okay.
And I have a buddy that used to run. He used to be the president. And my son was, interested in it, and I said, okay, I really wasn't into coaching, but I'll say, hey, I can come out and help out your kids if you find me a team where my son can come and participate. I said, I don't know what he'll do. I don't know if he's just going to look or what, but see if I can get him out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I will, pledge to, no matter if my son do anything or not, I will stay there all year.
Mm-hmm.
And so found an unbelievable team. And I'm still friends with all these guys and their kids now. And we have a brotherhood, and my son came out. All the kids knew about him and his handicap. And he did everything. They welcomed him. They hugged him. They brought him in. It cheered him on. And so he was part of the team. He ended up, I didn't think he'd put the helmet on because his ears were sensitive. Ended up putting the helmet on. We had one game where was the other team knew about it, where he got in and he played because he would come every game and he would warm up, and then when the game started, he'd go up to the stands, with his moms and everything. So we wanted to get him in the game. Or really, they wanted to get him in the game. I wasn't pushing for it, and they brought it up and said we're going to make a game for him to play.
Did he actually score a touchdown in that game?
No, yeah, he did. He did. I forgot. Yeah, he did. So he was a lineman, but they ended up giving him the ball.
Yeah. You said
So,
that was a highlight of his life right there. At that
point.
point.
It was. So at that point, that was a highlight. So he got a chance to score a touchdown. His brothers was there. All the family showed up, cheered, and everything. So it was good.
Wow. So that he got that love in return, like he always does. That's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, Sir Frederick. I just wanted to miss out the opportunity since we were talking about this Snoop Special Stars, and I want to do one more after your question.
All right. No, I'm sitting here listening with a big lump in my throat, just listening to all of this, how it's coming together, the passion you have. How does this make you feel to be a part of the developmental portion of this for these special youngsters? How does that? I'm sitting here with a big lump in my throat right now. How does that?
Well, it's you become a family to these kids. It was one kid I remember. He started out the season with not wanting me to even touch him. Not like I'm like, you're like, all right, come land up over here or this and that. Don't touch me. And it's okay. All right, but I want you to stand over here. No, and then he would like try to pinch me or something or whatever. And their parents would run over. I'm sorry. I said, no, don't worry about it. I got this extra layer of fat. It's all right. I don't. And so he was doing it for reaction for me to whatever. So I would ignore him and try to pinch me or something. But it started out that way, and slowly he started participating. Like even in the games, he would just stand there. He wouldn't do anything. All right, it's your turn. You want to get the ball? No, I don't want to do this and that. And then by the end, he's getting the ball and doing things and cheering. And then when it came down to the last game, he was hugging me and he said, I don't want this to be the last game. He said, I don't want to play.
Wow.
And I was like, well, if I don't play, then we got to play another game.
Oh, he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, he was trying to make it where it's not the last. I said, no.
Right.
He said, well, I'm
Right.
not going to see you anymore. I said, yeah, you will. I said, you know, we're going to have our Halloween, we're going to have our banquet, and then the season start over again. Yeah, but it's going to be a long time. And,
Wow.
you know, it took, you know, like really watching that, and this is like maybe our fifth, sixth season of doing this, like that kid, you know, of completely turning around
Yeah.
and hugging us and, you know, crying because he don't want to be the last, you know, game.
He wants to continue.
He wanted
It
to,
just don't. It does not stop. Wow.
Right.
That showed definitely some progress there, and that you guys have a great program there for him to have that kind of attachment to it. I love
Right.
it. I love it. I love it. Matter of fact, let's roll into that since you brought that up. Take a
Special
look at
Stars
this.
is a program that we created in 2017, which caters to individuals with intellectual and physical disabilities.
Miss Nakani was a team mom on my team, and she was speaking to a lot of the issues that some of the kids that had disabilities, and she wanted to provide some sort of program for them. And we gave these kids a chance to come out and be a part of something that was going to be game-changing, because it was not being ashamed and not being afraid of the disabilities, but finding the genius and the love in the kid and the person.
And you don't know how much I love that as a coach. You know, my children, my sons, I coached them in Little League. So I can only imagine if I knew about a program like this, if my son had any kind of, you know, special needs, I would have definitely been involved. You know, so I commend you, man. And I commend everybody who's involved with the Snoop Special Stars. I wish we had Snoop on here today to kind of give us, our listening audience, a little bit of insight, but you covering that very well, man. You have a personal relationship with Snoop. I'm sure that's second to none, being a part of this program. How's that relationship with you and Snoop?
It's great. And what Snoop noticed, because we used to have a camp every year, and he noticed that when he comes out, he take away from it in some ways, you know, because he wanted everything to shine on the kids.
Yeah.
He tries not to come out as much because he don't want the kids to be, you know, he don't want to take the shine away from the kids.
Yeah, he's not a Jerry Jones, in other words.
Oh no, hell no.
For you that don't know, I'm talking about Jerry Jones. He's in the forefront of that America's team, you know. So he takes a shine off everybody. So
Right.
yeah,
No. He believes. I mean, if anyone didn't know Snoop, he believes in letting people shine and certain things shine the way it's supposed to. And you know, this program, he wanted to shine the kids to shine and have everything focusing on the kids. And that's the whole point. There's nobody, like I said, you know, Nakani runs everything, but she doesn't walk up and say, hey, I run this, you know, no, nobody. We all, as a staff members, we're all together. No one has, you know, this say or that say. It's about the kids. So it's an easier program and easier to love because of that. You know, every kid plays. Every kid get a chance to get a touchdown or whatever. You know, no matter what their disability is, no matter if they're high function or not. I mean, we got some kids out there that's unbelievable athletes. You know, and then we have a couple of kids in wheelchairs. You know, we have, you know, so it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to have fun and they're out there doing it.
You know, I had a question regarding this. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frederick. Go ahead.
You know, one of the things, it comes back to discipline and behavior. You know, how do you handle that with some children that have behaviors that stick out? In fact, I like to go into this next clip and share this clip with you of this little girl. And I don't know if she's on the spectrum or not, but I just wanted to get your take on this when it comes to behavior. Can you roll that clip, Chris?
Hands are not for hitting. When you're ready to use your inside voice, you can talk to me. Laura Lane. Hey. Can you use your inside voice? No! We don't need to yell. Hey, no. Hands are not for hitting. We don't throw stuff. Well, we can go inside when you're ready to be nice. Hands are not for hitting. I don't like that. That hurts. You need to keep your hands to yourself and be nice. No, we are in timeout until you're ready to be nice. Are you ready to be nice? No. Okay, well then we're going to stay out here until you're ready.
Yeah, that mother was handling that with real calm. Do you have anything like that to that extreme on the field? And how would you handle something like that?
No, we don't. One thing about it, when we start practice and everything else, it's something they want to do. And then our kids, they're I guess like the other so-called normal kids, they have bad days.
Yeah.
I've been around tackle football, and I love being around our kids. The tackle football kids, their tantrums, I can't handle. I can't handle them kids. Our special stars, I mean, it's when you show up, it's with love, and so you have a different. No matter what your training is, and if you have a special need kid or not, you're coming there with a different mentality. So I can't speak on this lady on what she's working on and working with. She may be on step one of her programs of getting her kid to start understanding, hitting and tantrums or whatever. She might be using a different, technique or something. So I can't really, speak on her because there's a lot of things you got to go back to see where that come from.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's true, because that's why we're disclosing that we're not saying that this child has autism. We're actually talking about behavior and equating it to being out there on the field, because every level, like you said, it doesn't matter. They're coming out there and they're going to play. So in some levels, there are aggressive children because that's just, they don't understand, and we just wanted to get your take on that. Like I say, as a disclosure for the men's line of LA, we're not saying that child has special needs. We don't know. We just wanted to talk about the behavior, and we wanted to ask that question based upon Snoop's stars, special stars. And I think you did a great job with that, man, and you're doing a great job. That's what my question was initially. When does it start, and how can people sign up for that? And we can put that information in the link below, because we should have gotten that from you earlier, but we will have it in the link. Give us that information so we can have our listening audience know when to get involved in this program.
All right, we have an Instagram page, and when we're about to start, we have a camp or we're about to start the season, it's on our Instagram page, and it's Snoop Special Stars. And you can just look that up on Instagram. We haven't set our start date for next year yet. We are having our Halloween banquet this weekend, but we haven't set up our dates we usually try to have a camp, which we bring out a lot of Rams and Chargers and other athletes of all sports, really, to come out, volunteer, and we have a little one-day camp for the kids. And then we usually kick off the season shortly after that. So Snoop is usually at that one. He tried to be there. So we're trying to go around his schedule, and then also a lot of our athletes from the Chargers that dedicated their time for it. So we have to check the schedule, all their schedules, and try to come up with a day, a weekend.
Yeah, whenever you get that, make sure you give it to us for this broadcast. And like I say, we'll have it in the description, and we'll put it on our website as well, inside of our resource page on our website. And that'll be helpful to our listening audience and anyone who's joining us here at the Men's Lounge LA. But I look at it like this, man. All of those children out there are superheroes, man.
Yes.
They're all superheroes, man. I love it. I love it. They're all superheroes. That's a beautiful thing, man, that you guys are doing. As a matter of fact, obviously, we're brothers now, man. You're part of this brotherhood, the Men's Lounge LA. So when this thing gets started, man, Frederick and I are gonna make a appearance over there. We're gonna be by your side, man. If we can get on the sideline, give us a loop to get in, so we can be on the sideline next to you, and we can just get there, and we'll do a cigar off the lot. But we're gonna have to definitely get with you on that. But we when we first start talking, this is going just as long as the other one. Like I said, it's a lot of information, so hopefully you guys are hanging in with us on the listening audience. Conservatorship, can you kind of touch in a little bit on that, and we'll kind of end the show on this, because we really wanted to kind of go into that, because it's very important at that age of 18, I believe you said it is, when conservatorship has to be granted to the family. And I'm still learning about it. I did a lot more research, but you dealt with it personally, and you wanted to avoid it. Can you explain it to the listening audience?
There's a thing out there where when the state is helping you out with your special need child, your child is on that spectrum, and there's a point when they turn 18 that you got to make sure that you have conservatorship, because the state, for whatever reason, could come in and take over conservatorship. Any little incident, like one of the biggest fears I have with my son, I let you know how big he is. If he look at the wrong person the wrong way and scare him, we can get some type of small case, ridiculous case, but we can get one. Easy. Because he doesn't know about personal space. He can walk by, he can accidentally hit somebody or bump into somebody, and they fall down. If intended or not, by the law, that's still assault.
Yeah.
Depends on who's looking at it. He get a case, and he's 18, 19, and there's no conservatorship there. If the state, there's a lot of other things can go in play, but I'm just going way to the left. So legally, there's a lot of things they can do, but the state could take over.
So almost anything can trigger a state intervention.
Well, you have to get the social worker in. If they say the house is where he's living is unlivable, or this and that, there's a lot of things they go by. But, hey, what if at the same time you just lost your job or this and that? They come over and your house is not clean and like it normally is. It's a ramshack. Just it's a lot of variables how they will grade you, and then they would say, "Oh, we think your kid needs to be here, there." So you need to make sure the conservatorship is set up before he's 18, and have a plan.
In our meet and greet, you had you shared with us your experience of almost losing, not necessarily losing your son, but in terms of conservatorship. Can you speak to that real quick, please?
Yes, my son, mother, and I were not together, and I had a big fear about that, and I kept pushing her, and just happened I was out of the country working, and I was like, hey, he'd already turned 18. I said, we need to get this done. We need to get it done now. File the paperwork, and kept prolonging things, whatever. And I ended up when I got back in town, I just went to court to try to figure out where everything is. And she had filled the paperwork out, just her conservator only, not joint conservatorship. and I had to figure out how to fill the paperwork out. There was a lady in there helping me. I mean, I'm not a legal person, but I was figuring it out within 30 minutes of the court closing.
Wow.
And so I had to fill it out, turn it in, and get it filed and everything else that day. Which to me, I'm not a paperwork person. I hire people to do that. So I was trying to get somebody to come down there too.
Use your resources. I agree. If
I
you have
was trying to, and I was even trying to hire an attorney there, walking through the hallways.
There you go. That's right. Do what's necessary, man. Because when I hear about something like this, it actually disturbs me, and I can understand it from certain situations. Because Erica is a friend of yours, and she explained something during that meet and greet, and she basically said that there was some parents out there that just wasn't capable of taking care of that child at that time, and they didn't mind having it going into the system because it was better for the child and as well as them from where they were health wise. So there's different situations out there, but it still disturbs me to a point to where if it's not warranted and then someone just come in with a clipboard and a pen and just start writing down stuff, and all of a sudden now your child who has these special needs is taken out of the home, I have a big problem with that. But we wanted to share that. But we also had some very interesting things we were doing during our research, and hopefully it can come up and kind of enlighten some of the people to understand, what's happening here with this particular disability and how you need to be prepared, similar to what he was saying. You want to address this, Sir Frederick?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. There are no reliable statistics on what percentage of autistic children are removed from their homes due to a lack of conservatorship filings. While autism can place significant stress on the family and contribute to divorce, but there's no data linking conservatorship filings to the child. Lack of data. There's no specific data on the percentage and the stress on the family. The challenges associated with caring for an autistic child can lead to a significant stress and a higher rate of divorce. But this is different from a conservatorship leading to child removal. And you can go to the next slide, Coach. One of the reasons why we're bringing this up is simply because if you're going through this and still dealing with it, I'm pretty sure someone else is, and this is helpful. Let's go to the next slide, Chris. What the court will consider. A necessity. The court must be convinced that the conservatorship is necessary to protect your child's well-being and that the proposed conservatee is unable to manage their own personal needs or finances. The next one is least restrictive alternative. The court is required to find the least restrictive option possible, and then developmental disability. For limited conservatorship in some states, we're in California, the court will need to decide if the individual has a developmental disability, which can include autism.
Yeah, that's kind of what he alluded to initially on that, but we'll move on because it's a lot to cover, and we want to make sure we get as much in as possible.
Yeah, for those that might be struggling with this. Number 4, preparing.
I'm sorry, did you want to add to that, Tyrone?
Well, yeah. So one of the parts he was saying, what they will do is, all right, my son, mother, and I, we're going through it now. He's an adult, but we have custody and conservatorship concerns. So the courts will automatically appoint a lawyer for the special need child or person, adult. One we have don't give a damn about my son. We've been going back and forth for about 5 years now, and he still doesn't know my son's name.
Unbelievable.
And he doesn't. He really doesn't care about our son and what's best for him. And he's supposed to be a court-appointed attorney for my son. So
Yeah.
you would get someone that's just there, you know. I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm not going to leave that part out. But he's a person that don't care about black fathers.
Wow, that makes it tough.
Sound like a public defender when it comes down to our community.
Right. So he doesn't care about black fathers and how important the father is in the life. The judge had to a few times had to stop and say no a few times. And so his point is more of whatever the mother says, that's the way we're going to go. And then just put a little extra on it.
Yeah, he didn't want to be involved. He was just there just to take up space. He didn't want to be involved.
Oh, he's getting a check.
He's a check collector.
Yeah. So, and every time at the end of whatever day we have in court, he asks for more hours. And so report more hours for him so he can charge the state for more hours.
To do nothing.
And when we get there, ask him the same thing, whatever he came about with the meetings, this and that. Your Honor, I've been this and that. I mean, I told him, I said, when this is over, my full attention is on you and every family lives that you destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a forensic research on every case you've done once this is over with my son.
Wow.
So here's what we want to do. Prepare for the court hearing. Attend the scheduled court hearing to present your case to the judge. And you might need to show that the conservatorship will encourage your child's maximum self-reliance and independence. And like we were just mentioning, getting legal representation. A judge may appoint an attorney, which just happened in your case, that really wasn't working out in your favor, to represent you and your child. But having your own legal counsel is the best crucial start.
One thing you got a little confused. I have my attorney. She has her attorney.
Got you.
The judge appointed an attorney to speak for my son.
That's ridiculous.
So he's supposed to be speaking for my son. So we got 3 attorneys there. So since he's supposed to be the conservative court voice for our son.
That is ridiculous. Right. That's crazy. Wow.
Okay, how to start the conservatorship process. File a petition. Submit a petition to the court that includes details about why you're seeking conservatorship and the specific powers you're requesting. Gathering evidence. Provide documentation to support your claim that your child is unable to manage their own finances and their personal needs. And then number 3, file required forms. Complete and file all the necessary court forms. An online program like Law Help Interactive will assist with filling out forms in certain California counties, but will not file it for you.
We're talking about California, but anywhere in the country, I'm sure you should be able to follow these same guidelines because these guidelines can help you with conservatorship anywhere in the country if you follow them to the T. Because right. California has different laws than everybody else. We're on a different planet here in California than it is in everywhere else throughout the country. So we wanted to address that. Did you have anything you want to add to that on that one, Tyrone, since you have some experience in this?
That is like you said, the most important. Any request, you got to reply, and you got to be on the. Keep your notes of whenever you're supposed to go in, because they will try. Supposed to mail out a date to go to court. You don't show, then they're gonna rule against you.
Yeah.
Just by being there, even though if you need an attorney, you don't have an attorney, you need legal, representation or advice. By showing and saying that will give you more time, and the judge will, the judges are not inhuman. They will, give you that time.
Sounds like something you guys need to take heed of, family Listen to that. It goes a long way. Just a couple of more, and then we'll get to closing this out pretty soon. Go ahead, Sir Frederick.
Okay, before you begin, explore alternatives. Before pursuing conservatorship, consider and be prepared to explain why less restrictive alternatives, such as a representative payee program, durable power of attorney, or a special needs trust, are not sufficient to protect your child's well-being. Consider timing. Start the process well in advance of their turning 18 years old, contacting a lawyer at least a year in advance to set the arrangements that are recommended. Consult an attorney. Work with an attorney experienced, that's the key, in conservatorship and special needs planning to guide you through the process, as it can be complex.
Anything you want to elaborate on that, Tyrone?
No, that's basically self-explanatory. Everything. Yeah.
I agree.
And to get
go ahead.
to get conservatorship for your autistic child, you must file a petition with the court providing evidence of your child's developmental disability and demonstrate that conservatorship is necessary and the least restrictive alternative. You need to attend a court hearing to present your case and are strongly advised to consult with attorney. That's important. I've heard this 4 or 5 times, specializing in conservatorship and your special needs planning to ensure all the paperwork is completed correctly and to navigate the legal process. The process should be started before the child turns 18.
You know, that's a lot to cover, and it's a lot to go through. So as far as I'm concerned, this pales in comparison to getting blindsided or even losing your child, not understanding the process. So for me, we really wanted to share this with the Men's Lounge LA viewing audience and the experience that Tyrone went through and his fear that he had, just knowing from the beginning this can be an issue. Us, Frederick and I, going through this process of learning about autism and then to hear this with the meet and greet, I really wanted to address that. So hopefully you guys out there in the listening audience can really understand how important that part is in your life. And if it's warranted and you want to have your child in a system and you have your health issues, I get that. The reason why, because you are dealing with some things and this child needs to have that care. Similar to what Tyrone said about Jhai. Jhai is going to need this kind of care for the rest of his life, and he knows that, and he's going to be there for him. And he has the will and the ability to do it. A lot of you people that probably don't have the will and ability to do that, take advantage of the system, see how the system works, and then go ahead and live your life and know that your child's going to be okay. But for people out there that have children that you know that you're living right, you have this household and all these things that's in line that needs to be in line, don't get caught off guard. I fear for that for you guys. Don't get caught off guard. You know, that's my take on that. But it's a way to end the show, or heading towards the end before we do our takeaway. And it's been a long show, man. I tell you right now, brother, I can talk to you for hours, man, but we don't want to keep you away from your other stuff. But man, you have great stories. This Snoop Dogg Special Stars. Like I say, even though you were, you know, a Husky and not a Trojan, we still boys. So I'm good with that.
Well, you did show one of the top Trojans earlier, Willie McGinnis.
Willie McGinnis. That's right. Matter of fact, I meant to say something about that when it went off, but we went a different direction. Yeah. That is my boy, Willie McGinnis. Yeah, that's right.
Willie Mack's putting in the good work. He got his own program too, also, and he helps out special need kids too. So, there are a couple of people from SC doing good stuff.
Yeah. I'm one of them, so it's all good.
Yeah. No. I mean, like we said earlier, in the sporting world, usually your biggest rivals would become your best friends. So and that's I mean, I hang out with so many USC people, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said earlier, man, it's a brotherhood, man. It's a brotherhood, man. When you get involved in sports and you understand the passion it takes to get to that point, the passion it takes to stay there, the passion it takes to be involved, to practice. I mean, all that stuff is, I mean, it's taxing on the body, it's taxing on your mind, but it also leads you into directions to look at what you're doing today, man. You know, you have a security company that you have, you know, I'm gonna put you over yourself, you know, and you have this card out there, man. Look at this dude, man. It looks like he's about to rip somebody's head off right now, man. You know? And then, but it all started with this trophy right here, man. You know, we covering up your faces, but hey, you know what? It's a beautiful thing, man. I got nothing but love and respect for you.
You have to go back really where it began. You know, what really began is in Compton at the YMCA boxing. And then you know, going from there and then going to Banning High School, which I don't think there's any other high schools in Los Angeles area, but that's another conversation. But yeah, Banning High School, then you have junior high schools after that.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So the Banning High School Brotherhood, and I will say really, a lot of this stuff comes from Banning.
Yeah.
We had a Italian coach, a head coach that never cursed, still to the day. A white offensive line coach, Asian, Filipino linebacker coach, black linebacker coach, a Mexican D-line coach, Mexican defensive coordinator coach that had all these black, Samoan, Filipino, Mexican players from every gang in the area, and made us come together, create a goal, and work together, accomplish the goal.
Yeah,
so,
and look where it led you to, man. You know,
right. So with that, with people like that to come in and help us, and brought all of us from all backgrounds, and their background is something different, and it is all about helping. And they didn't get money. They didn't get they got teacher salary. They got a stipend, $1,000 that they supposed to share.
Wow.
Back then. So no. So you know, if they did that, what am I supposed to do?
Right. Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's the turnaround.
Yeah, a lot of people don't watch sports, man, but I know sports to me, man, is life lessons in all forms. You know, it's just life lessons, man, and that's what I wanted to make sure I portrayed to my kids that I coach, man. You know, but we could, like I say, we could talk about that all day. But one thing that we wanted to talk about, because we beat ourselves up as men, and when it comes down to care, I was a care provider for my mom before she passed. He was a care provider for his aunt before she passed, and you know, I needed some help after that. You know, I seek some self-care. Last question, unless Frederick has something else from me, and then we'll chop it up a little bit later on takeaway. What kind of self-care you got for yourself right now, brother?
You know what? It's almost like I just said, the brotherhood of even my SC brothers. I mean, I can call them that. We sat around. We use insults as help.
Of course. Why do you think me and him get along so well?
Yeah. So we use insults and help. You know, I have friends from Banny that I've been knowing since elementary school. One of my best friends, he lives in Tampa Bay, Florida. We talk 3-4 times a day, literally. Or if we're not on the phone, we're texting some kind of stupid joke.
There you
Inappropriate joke for the show, but you know, we're you know, and it's something about us, a friend, or some old picture or something.
Right.
You know, his father's name is Ernie, and Ernie is the most Richard Pryor had nothing on him. You know, and we got Ernie jokes where we just can go on days and days.
Gotcha.
You know, and you know, we're talking about Ernie, and Ernie's to talk about us. So that's our self-help group that we will, you know, go through and sit down. and sit down and have a drink and a talk, which is, you're not saying what your problem is that day, but you're having a mental break.
Right. That's the key. That mental break. We got about 5 minutes here. We want to do one last thing here, man. After it's all said and done, at the end of our show, we always have a takeaway.
Yes.
What is the takeaway that you would like to have our listening audience take away from this today by you being a part of this process?
When you see a special need person, don't look at them as woes them. You should look at yourself, because they're in a better world than we are. Their world is way better than ours.
Wow.
And, you need to take something from them, rub their shoulder or something, and get what they have.
I agree with that 100%. With all the research we've done, even on how we started this show off with that Rain Man video, on how this brother was able to connect with a brother he didn't even know about at the beginning, and then how you connected with these children you're going through, the Snoop Special Stars, and even your own son, and the children I've been circled around at this point, just the life that they live, man, I think is so pleasant. And these are, like I said, incredible, incredible people, But go ahead, Sir Frederick, and we're going to wind this down.
Coach, what's your takeaway?
Just what I said. The things that we learn from them is my takeaway. And then on this show, the incredible job that Snoop Dogg is doing, along with Tyrone Rodgers with his Christmas tree lot, and these people on how they gravitate to certain things, and when they get involved, they put their whole heart into it, and their heart is pure, from what I'm hearing. And that's a beautiful thing. You have yours, because I think we only have a few minutes here. We want to make sure we don't keep.
You know what? Being patient, being loving, and just being open and not judgmental. Everyone's going through something, and we handle it differently. Some are not handling it at all or very well, but we're all going through something. And to be patient with people and not judgmental. So that's my takeaway.
At the end of our shows, we always will say, as we empower men, everyone benefits, including the woman who's looking for a man like that.
And here at the Men's Lounge, LA, we're empowering men, strengthening families, and transforming lives. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time in the lounge.
Thanks for watching the Men's Lounge LA.